Throughout history, humanity has advanced through trial and error. But sometimes the most world-changing events weren't the result of genius or careful planning. They were happy accidents, mistakes that turned into miracles. Today we're exploring 7 surprising stories of accidental discoveries that changed the world. From medicine to household items, these moments of chance show us that failure can sometimes lead to the greatest success. If you enjoy this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves learning about the fascinating twists of history. Let's begin. It was 1928. Alexander Fleming, a scientist in London, returned from vacation to find a messy lab. He noticed something strange on one of his petri dishes: mold. Normally, he would throw it out. But this time, he looked closer. The mold had killed the surrounding bacteria. Curious, he studied it further. Fleming had discovered Penicillium notatum. The substance released by the mold had antibacterial properties. It became the world's first true antibiotic, penicillin. Before penicillin, bacterial infections were often fatal. Soldiers died from infected wounds, children died from pneumonia. Penicillin changed that. During World War II, it saved countless lives on the battlefield. Afterward, it revolutionized medicine, making routine surgeries safer and increasing life expectancy worldwide. Fleming wasn't the only one to deserve credit. Years later, scientists Howard Florey and Ernst Boris Chain figured out how to mass-produce penicillin. Still, it all began with an accident. One moldy dish, one scientist who decided to take a closer look. That mistake now saves millions of lives every year. In 1895, German physicist Wilhelm Röntgen was working with cathode rays when he noticed something peculiar. A fluorescent screen several feet away began to glow, even though the cathode rays weren't aimed at it. Intrigued, Röntgen experimented further. He placed various objects between the rays and the screen. Remarkably, the screen continued to glow, but differently depending on the object. Then, he placed his hand in front of the rays and saw something astonishing: the silhouette of his bones. This mistake led to the discovery of X-rays. Within months, X-rays were being used in hospitals. Doctors could now see inside the human body without surgery. It was a turning point in medical diagnostics. X-rays also revolutionized physics and engineering. Today they are used in everything from airport security to astronomical observatories. And it all began with a strange glow in a dark lab. Röntgen didn't seek fame. In fact, he refused to patent the discovery. He wanted the medical community to benefit freely. His accidental discovery earned him the first Nobel Prize in physics, and it continues to save lives every day. In the mid-1940s, engineer Percy Spencer was working for Raytheon, a company developing radar technology during World War II. One day, while testing a magnetron, a device that emits microwaves, he noticed something odd. A chocolate bar in his pocket had melted. Curious, Spencer placed popcorn kernels near the magnetron. They popped. He tried an egg. It exploded. Realizing the potential, he designed the first microwave oven by attaching a magnetron to a metal box. In 1947, Raytheon released the first commercial microwave oven. It was massive and expensive, used mainly in restaurants. Over time, the technology was refined. By the 1970s, the microwave became a common household appliance. Today it's hard to imagine life without the microwave. From reheating leftovers to defrosting meat, it saves time and energy in kitchens around the world. And it all started with a melting chocolate bar. In 1968, Spencer Silver, a chemist at 3M, was trying to develop a powerful adhesive. Instead, he created a weak, pressure-sensitive glue that stuck to surfaces but could be easily removed without damage. At first, the invention seemed useless. But years later, a colleague named Art Fry had a problem. He sang in his church choir and used slips of paper as bookmarks in his hymnal. They kept falling out. He remembered Silver's adhesive and applied it to small pieces of paper. The result? The Post-it note. Initially, 3M was skeptical, but when the product was test-marketed, it was a hit. Offices across the country began using them for reminders, notes, and messages. What began as a failed glue became one of the most popular office supplies in the world. It's a reminder that a product doesn't have to work as intended to be revolutionary. In 1941, Swiss engineer Georges de Mistral took his dog for a walk in the countryside. Afterward, he noticed burrs stuck to his clothes and to his dog's fur. He was curious about how they clung so effectively. Under a microscope, he discovered the burrs were covered in tiny hooks that latched onto loops in fabric and fur. Inspired, he began working on a synthetic version. After years of trial and error, he created the hook and loop fastener we know today as Velcro. The invention was first embraced by NASA for use in spacesuits. Then it spread to fashion, sports gear, medical devices, and more. From a walk in the woods came a multi-billion-dollar industry. Velcro is now used in everything from baby shoes to blood pressure cuffs. It all started with a walk and a burr. In 1879, Konstantin Fahlberg, a chemist at Johns Hopkins University, was working late in his lab studying coal tar derivatives. He went home without washing his hands and noticed something unusual during dinner. The bread he was eating tasted incredibly sweet. He realized the sweet taste was coming from a chemical compound on his hands. Returning to the lab, he identified the source: saccharin. Saccharin became the world's first artificial sweetener. At first it was used mainly by diabetics, but during sugar shortages in World Wars I and II, it became popular with the general public. Though controversial at times, saccharin paved the way for the sugar substitute industry. Today, artificial sweeteners are a multi-billion-dollar market, and it all started because someone forgot to wash up before dinner. In 1903, French chemist Edouard Benedictus accidentally dropped a glass flask in his lab. It fell to the floor, but instead of shattering into sharp pieces, it cracked and held together. He discovered that the flask had previously contained a plastic cellulose solution, which had coated the inside. The coating kept the broken glass from flying apart. Realizing the potential, Benedictus began developing laminated safety glass. Initially used in car windshields, safety glass is now used in skyscrapers, phone screens, and protective eyewear. What began as a clumsy accident turned into a crucial innovation in safety. Today, it saves lives by preventing deadly injuries from shattered glass. These 7 stories remind us of something powerful. Even our mistakes can lead to greatness. Whether it's a moldy petri dish, a messy lab, or a simple walk in nature, unexpected discoveries can change everything. In a world that often celebrates perfection, it's worth remembering that accidents aren't always setbacks. Sometimes they are the key to progress. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves learning about the fascinating twists of history. What's your favorite accidental discovery? Let us know in the comments below.